I don't think it was a mistake. What you had after the crash, you had a liquidity crisis with the banks. You had tremendous economic downturn, the greatest since the Great Depression. What you needed to do, you needed to establish, you put money back in the system. You needed to have investment. It wasn't going to come from the private sector necessarily. People have proposed tax cuts. Well, that really was part of the reason we got to where we were in 2008, in the sense that the money didn't come back directly into the economy right away. That's indirect. What the Obama administration was doing is putting money directly into the economy, creating jobs. You see on the highways, the roadways, it created jobs in the Community Reinvestment Act. There are all kinds of jobs created by that. That's just to get America going again. We literally were in a position where we were bogged down in a recession. When you put money into the economy, when you create jobs, everybody who's working again, everybody who gets that money, $800 billion, that's going to actually get them money to go out and buy groceries, to go to the store and buy things. It has a ripple effect in the economy. What it was putting money back in the economy, getting people working so it would further stimulate the rest of the economy. Is it a perfect idea? No, nothing is perfect, but you can't make the perfect the enemy of the good. So I think it was a valid notion to do that. My point with people when I talk about the economy and getting this stimulus package and things like that, we have to look back and see what got us here. I mean, the economy right now is very fragile, and putting money into the system is good. I talked to a friend of mine who's a plumber. Now, what happened with the stimulus package, it put people on road crews and things like that, but the plumbers union wasn't really benefiting from it. The money didn't go to certain sectors of the economy. What we have to do is we have to have a holistic approach to things. But first off, what we have to do is look at why we got here. Now, if we go back to doing the same things we did to get here, that's not appropriate. When people talk about the tax cuts and other things, again, I've said I'm all for tax cuts, but look at Wall Street. Look what happened on Wall Street to get us here. You had massive deregulation. You had all kinds of things that were done to the economy. Even George Bush himself said Wall Street got drunk and threw themselves a party, basically. No regulation, doubling the leverage ratio for big banks, taking commercial banking money and using it for proprietary trading. Things went haywire. What you had was a slow diminution, dismantling of all the regulations that had governed us since the first depression we had back in the 30s, the Great Depression, 1929, when we had the crash. We have to look and assess what we did, what got us here. And what worries me is I hear a lot of people talking about doing the same things to get us out of the recession that got us into the Great Recession. That, to me, is absurd. So we have to take a holistic approach, look at the economy. First of all, lock down the economy, make sure we get Wall Street back and restore integrity to our capital markets. That's critical to go forward. You can put money into the economy. You can create jobs with a stimulus package, but we're not going to get back on our feet until we fix what's going on Wall Street. We have real financial reform. The financial reform bill, I don't think, went far enough, to be honest. We have to have that. We have to restore integrity to our capital markets. We have to have a tax code and a tax system that works for the people of the United States of America and puts people back to work, as I was saying with jobs, having tax cuts tied to creating jobs here in America for American workers. That's the long-term picture. The stimulus is a Band-Aid. That's not going to fix the economy going forward for the next 10 or 20 years. I'm concerned about being competitive worldwide. I'm concerned about repairing the economy at a more profound level. And again, going back and proposing the same things that got us here, which I see a lot of politicians doing, and I'm amazed at that. They say insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Well, I think people in Washington need a little dose of common sense. So there are a lot of things we can do. The stimulus package was something to get us back on our feet, but we have to look beyond that. We have to fix what's wrong with our economy, look at what got us here, and make sure it never happens again.